Hey, how are you?
Good to see you. Welcome back in Australia.
Thank you. Haven't seen you in a long time.
No, I think last time was in Bratislava. Slovakia.
Probably at the Worlds, yeah.
We're here today because I'm going to meet Corinna Kuhnle. Well, Corinna, she's a fantastic canoe slalom peddler, and she's current world champion, and I think she's an amazing athlete. Well, I've got so many questions, probably about what her days look like, how she can have continued good performance, what she likes about pedaling and being an athlete. You've done some good training so far?
Yeah, lots of training sessions. Have a rest day today.
Okay, oh that's good.
Yeah, really nice.
What do you usually do on a rest day?
Well, last week on my rest day I went golfing and practiced my golf strokes. Usually I just try to relax, read some books. Yeah.
Okay. And are you reading anything interesting at the moment?
No, I like to read biographies, and yeah, at the moment I read a biography of a German boxer, a girl who's 23 years old, and she's world champion in I think 3 different types of boxing.
Oh wow!
So that was quite interesting.
Yeah, it is really interesting.
Yeah.
Do you recognize any stories or?
Maybe not with her so much, but I've read some books from other athletes before that I can relate to sometimes. Yeah. I think it's interesting to see other athletes' views on sport and training and their approach and all the races. I get up in the morning and come here to paddle on the whitewater, and then I go to the gym at lunchtime and train there, do some weights, and then usually I go back here and do a flat water session just on the lake.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
there,
for some endurance training. So it's usually 3 sessions a day, and then I have the rest days on the weekends.
And are you then here with someone else who's training you, or can you do that?
My coach is here at the moment. He's here for 2.5 weeks for part of my training camp, which is what we usually do. Like I come here earlier, get used to the time change, the time difference, the weather, and then he comes out, and then we have 2.5 weeks of good training, and then he goes back home, and I do the rest of the camp and then go home as well.
I'm keen to get my legs moving, and I guess on your day off, maybe nice as well to perhaps go into the mountains.
Oh, for sure.
For a hike.
That would be good. Yeah, it would be fun.
Okay, great.
Let's do that.
Yeah, because do you often go to the Blue Mountains since you're here close?
I did when I came here the first couple of times. We did more of the touristy things that you kind of have to do.
Yeah.
But like since I'm here 2.5 weeks ago, I have been to the beach once. As nice as here for training, and then
you might get too cold.
I might get too cold, and I might need more focus for paddling, and I don't like that as much. And also it's because at home where I live near Vienna, I don't have the possibilities to train on white water at this time of the year. So I kind of have to go somewhere else for training. And I like the setup here in Penrith. I like being able to paddle on the course and paddle on the lake. I usually don't really paddle on rivers. I prefer the setup courses actually to paddle on, to do slalom paddling on. even if it's just for the reason that it's safer than paddling on a river. Yeah, I haven't done any creeking, and I'm not too. Yeah, I don't know how to say. I'm not really that interested in doing it. Maybe I'm too scared. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of creeking.
Because where did you learn? Was it on an artificial course that you also learned to paddle?
No, I paddled on a river called Salza in Austria. That's where I first started paddling on white water. But then, yeah, I guess once I got to know all the courses around the world, the artificial courses, I just started liking that, and I just like the setup. That is like you have some rapids all the way down, and it's not like you have a rapid and then a long stretch of flat water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, now is there a lot of difference between different courses, like artificial courses then?
I guess yes. I guess every course that you get to or that you go to, they all feel different, and it's almost like you try to compare courses. Like if you go somewhere and you tell someone else who's never been there, you say, oh, it's a little bit like, maybe it's a bit like Bratislava or it's a bit like Tarzan.
Yeah.
But in the end, it's just every course, they have their own, it's almost like a person, they have their own character, and like all the eddies, they have their own, yeah, it's just their own features. Just feels different everywhere.
And when when a competition, the gates are, how do you call it?
Well, the set, the set, yeah.
And you can't race it before the competition starts, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes I see when people doing these movements, like, do you do that? Do you have like things you do before a race, like when you look at the course set?
I guess all of us, when we walk the course before the race, and we try to remember and focus on the course and where the gates are set, we try to, like most of us, they would try to imagine themselves paddling. Like we try to get that in our head, so we have it like when we're actually there and we actually paddle, we know where to go without actually looking there.
Okay.
So when we're in the gate, we would actually imagine like the next gate being over there, and we know that it's there, so we don't have to actually look and then paddle there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And that's when you see people doing that, you can. It's things that you see in other sports as well. You see skiers, you see them before the races, and they like would have movements in there like that with their hands. And for us, like some paddlers, you see them walking down the course like that, because they try to focus on that and what they do in their boat. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's and what does it feel like racing?
Oh, it's lots of different things. Like it can be very satisfying racing. It can be very disappointing. It can be a lot of fun, and it can be very exhausting. It's just, I guess it depends on the situation, and it depends on the race, and it very much depends on what day you just got from somewhere else. Like you got up in the morning, sometimes it's your day and sometimes it's not, and it's just, I think it depends a lot on that.
And do you when you're going well, do you notice that when you're racing?
I guess you do notice, but I try to, with the years of racing and the races I've done, I figured that it's better to put that thought somewhere else, like not to actually think about, well, this was good, I have to keep going good, because that's just that little bit of that second when you think, oh, that was good, that keeps your mind off what you're actually supposed to do, and that's always hard if you think of something else. So I try to not to think about that during the race.
So do you have any thoughts during racing?
It's easier to not have any thoughts when it's actually going good. It's not as easy to stay without thoughts when something's not going like you wanted it to be. So I guess most of the races, when you get to the finish line and you actually you had a good run, you'd be like, for me it is like that, I'm like, I actually have to focus and try to remember what the run was like, because you're in this kind of situation when you don't really think about it anymore.
Yeah.
And lots of they call it the flow, and that's what you try to be in as an athlete. You try to be in this. You try to be in your own movement, and you try to be just as balanced as you are as possible.
And did you ever think that you would be here now when you were young, starting out as an athlete?
Well,
as a young kid, I don't know, how old were you when you started out?
I guess when I started paddling first on a lake, I was 7 or 8 years old, and then I started paddling on whitewater when I was 12.
Okay.
And then I soon after that started training for slalom racing. And I guess then that dream of one day competing at Olympic Games or winning an Olympic medal or winning a World Championships, it started as a dream. But I guess I never really thought I'm going to be world champion one day. But I guess it was just a dream.
Yeah. So I heard you're really good at golf.
Yeah, not quite as good.
Did you ever think you would do another sport? Like, was it ever an option, or was it paddling straight when you?
I did a bit of judo when I was little.
What's
when I was like judo.
Oh,
like,
judo. Oh, yeah.
When I was really little, but I was only like 5 years old or 6 years old, and then I enjoyed doing that, but I kind of had to stop because I was too young to go further in the whole competitions.
Yeah.
And then I started canoeing, but yeah, I guess I played some volleyball at the school's team, but in the end I really enjoyed paddling from the start. And I was always very competitive, like everything in life you can just make it a competition. But yeah, I always enjoyed that, competing against others.
And yeah, with the slalom, it's something, or with the paddling, you really.
Yeah, it's just I guess with slalom, even in training, you can like give yourself more of a challenge than more with the training than you have in downriver maybe.
Yeah.
Because you can just set yourself a really hard combination of gates, or try things out on the course more.
Yeah. Hey, and I've always been thinking that this as well. Do you do anything particular with your diet, like what you eat, and drink, to have a good performance, or doesn't? Yeah, it matters less.
I guess I naturally have quite a balanced diet, like just because of the things that I like to eat. Like I really enjoy Italian food and pasta, and it's just actually the things that you're supposed to eat as an athlete anyway.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess it is quite balanced anyway, so I don't really try and eat healthy.
Yeah.
It just comes natural.
Yeah,
and
natural.
I still sit down and enjoy a bit of chocolate every now and then, or still I really enjoy ginger beer, and we don't have that in Austria. So I enjoyed it when
Australian, right?
Yeah, like you get it in Britain as well.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just things like that, and I think for me it's important to still be able and enjoy those bits of my life as well, rather than having to cut the whole life down and say I have to do everything and every second of the day to improve my performance.
Yeah. So we've talked a lot about sport and how you like the sport and what you do with the sport, but life consists of more than the sport, or not?
Yeah, it does. I guess there's lots more things that are more important than racing and competing or performing at races. Like, I guess often people, they ask me what it changed in my life, or what changes it did to me to win the World Championships.
Yeah.
And I always tell them, and I always try to tell people that it doesn't change anything. Like, it doesn't change who you are, and it doesn't change the person you are. And I think it took me a while to realize that you don't actually identify yourself through your sporting success. Like, it's just, you're always going to be the same person, no matter if you win a race or if you lose at a race.
Yeah.
I think that's just something I learned through the process of actually winning a race.
Obviously, I'm only just one fan of your whole fan base. Is there anything you'd like to say to your fans that hasn't been said already?
Well, I don't really have that much of an idea or if there's fans or a fan base, but I guess if I wanted to say something to them, I would probably say that I'm grateful for them to actually believe in me and to support me as they believe in me. And I guess if they actually are my fans, they're happy with what I do and who I am, and I think I'm just grateful for that.